Hey guys, doing a midweek market update for the YouTube channel and for the free public Discord. So before I jump into the pairs I cover here, I was going to show a few pairs a few trades on a few pairs that we've been covering this week in the mentorship program. So starting off the NZD USD coming to this week, we had a sell running here and a sell running here. By the time we closed profit and partials on the bottom, we made around 10 to 12%, depending on everyone's stop loss and exactly where they enter, but around 10 to 12%, which, you know, if you have a 100K account, that is 10K to 12K. You have a 200K account, that's 20K to 24K. Or even a 400K account with like FTMO, you know, you're looking at 40K, which is just insane. And then we also took a buy hedge here, which ended up playing out really, really nicely as you look for this to move higher. As I did state earlier on the weekly outlook, I do favor pullbacks on a lot of pairs. In particular, was very interested in NU, EN, and USD CAD. Another trade we've taken this week on was GU today. So we actually got closed out at break even on this. So we had the Fed news and Fed interest rate come out today, which was going to cause a lot of manipulation and a lot of volatility. So we took a trade here today, took a buy. I also covered this on my Instagram. Priced and pushed up, hit our risk-free target, then literally reversed, which obviously stopped us out at break even. So it stopped us out at no win, no loss. And then would have been a loss if we hadn't have gone break even and followed the trading plan. And then price then pushed up. I'm actually looking at this coming up to 1.3, which would be a 1 to 14 for 500 pips, which I believe I did state. I was looking for pullbacks on the weekly outlook. So playing out really nice. A bit messy price action this week because of we had the Fed interest rate news. Like I said, we are also at NFP week, and generally NFP week, for those who don't know, which is non-farm payroll, which comes out on Friday, generally it is somewhat slower, somewhat more manipulation, and a little messy. But we are seeing some really, really nice moves at the moment. Another pair we traded this week was EN, which this setup played out as well. And then one more we also took was USD CAD, which also played out. So everything is shared, detailed, broken down in both videos and updates. I help you manage your trade. I give you the entry. I tell you, when we're break even, when we're risk free, when to take partials, and then I update in the daily videos and how I suggest you manage the trade as well. So really, really good job, this week. Really clean moves, just not the greatest bit of price action with a lot of wicking that we've seen, but it is what it is. I mean, what matters most, as I always say to my students in the mentorship program, what matters most is, first of all, is your analysis and your zones correct? And then are your entries really, really spot on? Like, could they be better? In this case, our entries are, as always, are fucking spot on and accurate as can be. So seeing some nice moves this week. Now let's jump into our pairs that I covered. Coming to this week, I did say on AED USD, I was looking for a break and a retest of 0.705, 0.707 region for a move higher. Now, it never actually gave that. It came close, but never actually gave it. So what I would be looking for here, because remember, go back to the Sunday outlook. I did say I favor pullbacks, okay? I wanted to stay away from AU until it either did one of two things, either pushed lower and then did this, or it gave me this scenario here, which this did play out. It just didn't give the entry. So what I'd be looking for here is to see if price can pull back, retest 0.718 for a move up into 0.735. I did say earlier in the week that I'm favoring a move up into 0.735 region before a continuation lower, because we are overall very, very bearish. But this pair needed a pullback and needed to correct, and that's exactly what we're seeing. So watch for something like this. Otherwise, if price pulls up into here, you can look for a possible sell from this region. But once and if it gets there, I'll update. Right now, it's kind of in the middle, away from structure. We need to just kind of let price do its thing, let it pull back if it needs to, and then we can begin to monitor if we once this pulls that into our zone. It is only Wednesday, so a lot can happen between now and tomorrow. Like, this could easily fake out and close back below, and then we look for sells. Right, so this is what I favor right now. It is testing 0.725 region, so we should see that pullback from there. CAD JPY. So I actually took a buy in the mentorship program beginning of the week, which actually pushed up, wicked us out at break even by like 2 or 3 pips, and then pushed up. So again, this is just another example of perfect analysis, perfect entry, but just messy, somewhat price action on a few of our pairs with the manipulation we've seen this week. So what I'd be looking for here is to see if price can pull back down and give another entry for a move higher up into this 102.8 region. Okay, right here, all this is too far from the zone. You definitely don't want to be entering up here. You want to be entering in and off the zone, ideally, you know, in the middle to bottom of the zone for buys, right? So if price can pull back down into here, we can look for buys up into 1028, 103 region, which is what I favored coming into this week. And then from there, if price does give the price action, we can look for sells from here to take this lower. So we'll see what we get. But yeah, right now, either just let it push up or see if it can come back down and hopefully give a buy. Euro JPY, I purchased this a few times in the Discord as well. For at the beginning of the week, came down, pushed up, came down again, pushed up, and then today as well with the news came up and pushed up. So as I said all week in the weekly outlook, and I've been updating in the public Discord, look for buys, look for buys, look for buys. Okay, any reason to buy this, take it, because I believe it's going higher, and looks like it finally is. I know quite a few of you caught this, which is really, really impressive to see. So for those of you who caught this, you should be looking at this pushing up into 138.5, 138.8 region, if not higher up into 140. I do think we can see 140 hit. So for example, most of you got your entry sort of top of the zone from what I saw. 35 pips. That's an easy 1 to 5 to the next to 138.5 region, and then if we can break that and head to this 139, 140 region, it's an easy 1 to 8.5, 1 to 8. So really, really good job there, guys. You should be risk-free or approaching risk-free right now. This now again, you know, price can always test more than once. This could very easily come back and test structure again. Okay, so if it does, just continue to look for bullish price action. Pin bars, like, I mean, this is where most of you seem to have entered off of, this 1 hour bullish candle here or here. I know a few of you guys got in off like the little pin bar here, but this is really, really clean price action for a move higher. So this could always come back and test again. If it does, you know, maybe go break even, and then you can look for a re-entry upon new price action. But this does look really, really good for a move higher, especially looking at like the daily and the 8 hour. Looks like we should see this push up. Now GA, beginning of the week, I said look for price to retest 1.775 for a buy. Obviously, there's just no price action here at all for an entry. So what I'd be looking for now is we seem to be breaking lower. What I would like to see, if I'm being honest, I would like to see this kind of pull back up into this 1.75 200 region for a move lower. This would be kind of a big pullback, but this is probably the cleanest setup in my opinion. So yeah, wait for price to pull back up into here, retest structure at 1.75, and then you can look for a sell from here. So something sort of like this on the 1 hour, or the 30 minute, or the 2 hour, something like that. Look for clear rejections, patterns, entries, bearish exhaustion, things like that. You look for a sell from there to take this lower into this 1.715, 1.718 region down here. Now let's say that price doesn't respect this level. Let's say this is a fake out and ends up breaking back above, then you can look for this, but I honestly don't think that will happen. Looking at correlated pairs, it looks like we're going to see much more downside on GBP AUD, especially with the fact that we couldn't break above 1.78. Okay, the fact we couldn't break above that and the overall trend is bearish does indicate we should at least see 1.72 region hit, okay, which is what I was just saying before. So lining up for a very clear break and retest of 1.75 for a move lower. Next pair is USD JPY. Opened up up here. I said wait for another tap of structure, which it's doing now, but obviously no price action here to warrant a buy. Now, assuming that the daily, which closes in 20 minutes, which would be this candle here, assuming this closes below, what I'd be looking for is a simple break retest to take this lower, okay, at least down into here, and then maybe this could give a buy from 127.8, 127.5 region back up into here. So what we could see is a sell from here to here, for example, which I believe I did cover at the weekly outlook, something like this, right, which would be a nice little 1 to 6, 1 to 7, and then you could look to hedge this if the price action obviously occurs. You could look to hedge this, something like that, back up into here, or maybe even back up into 131. Like I said, I do favor a bit of a pullback right now on the US dollar this week. We do have non-farm payroll on Friday, but right now this pair is very, very bullish. So what we could be seeing is just a retest of this 127.8, 128 region before I move higher up into 131. Because like I said, for JPY pairs, I do favor kind of a move higher and then the correction. So for example, go back to EJ. I favor the move higher up into here, or even 140, and then the correction. All right. Same thing for CAD JPY, for example. The move higher and then the correction. So of course anything can happen, but that's just what I'm seeing right now. Like I said earlier, we do have non-farm payroll on Friday, so expect a lot of manipulation, some volatility, a lot of wicking, which is what we've seen a lot of this week. So make sure, guys, as always, you are using risk management. Maybe even consider reducing your risk on Friday, just in case you do get wicked out, or even widen your stop loss as well. That's generally what I do. Is if I see any significant news releases such as interest rate or the Fed news that came out today, I will reduce my stop loss and then reduce my risk and then widen my stop loss accordingly. So that's it for now, guys. Have a great week. I'll be posting another video at the end of the week as a weekly review, just to see what trades occurred. Loving your questions, loving seeing your trade entries. A few of you passed your FTMO this week, which is amazing to see. So really, really good job there, guys. I appreciate all the messages. Have a great week, and I will chat to you guys later on in the week.